Hi, welcome to Living a Sustainable Dream, and this is our search for the homestead tractor.
Let's try that one more time.
We're looking for a homestead tractor, and we already talked a little bit about why we're going new instead of used in another video. So
Yes.
you can check that link over here. We narrowed it down to 2 tractors, and we test drove them both.
Yep.
And that was the TYM 354 and the
Kioti.
Kioti 3510.
Right.
So
They both felt a little different. Each one had goods and bads, so that was good. You know, it was good to take a ride, so we could decide.
Right, so we're looking at the 35 horse, just to kind of
Yeah.
recap a little bit, and the lift capacity and so forth.
Yes.
But why should we even go into debt to get this tractor? Because we're looking at going in and refinancing for this because we
Right.
don't have enough cash on hand to pay the huge amount.
Right.
outlay.
Right. And we're looking to build this summer, so a lot of our savings is already kind of predesignated to that. So we're not in debt on 2 things.
Right.
But anyway, so what are the pros and cons?
Well, let's start with, let's just go ahead and start with the con. Let's get the negative out of the way. The negative is the tractor itself is very expensive.
Yeah.
It's basically a car. It's
Yes.
literally, you'll see on the spreadsheet, around $25,000 to almost $30,000, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
I decided that we needed to know more about what our monthly payment would be. So I actually created this lovely spreadsheet that you see before you. I even labeled it tractor. I'm kind of a spreadsheet geek if you know me. What I need to do is actually calculate the beginning amount and the interest rate. Now the interest rate for the TYM is, I believe, around 6.99%. So if I put that in there, okay, and it still doesn't calculate out because I needed principal money borrowed. So the TYM with all the functions that I want, which is the third function or button to move the thumb that is actually hooked to the bucket, a 60-inch box blade for excavation, and also pallet forks for heavy lifting. The rear hydraulics is left blank because it comes standard with the TYM. It comes to about $28,000 after sales tax. So let me hit the equals key here and then select this cell down here, and it should calculate for me. Alright, so the way I plug this in is this equation right here is calculated into cells right here. So I take the principal loan, I actually calculate with the monthly interest rate and 84 months my payments for the TYM T354 35 horsepower tractor is going to be $434.05 a month. Okay. If you look down here, I have the payment calculator. It goes all the way to the bottom and it should come up to 84 months right down here. So there's 84 months right there, and it zeroes out, okay, with those payments. So I know that my math is correct. The interest paid on that loan would actually be $7,691, pretty much $7,692 rounded up. All right, let's take a look at the Kioti CK35. Now, the only difference between the CK35 is the fact that the rear hydraulics do not come standard and need to be installed for $408. The other thing is that it does not have the same lift capacity. So the TYM can lift 2,200 pounds. The Kioti can lift 1,800 pounds. All right, so let's go ahead and change this number here and select the Kioti price, which is $26,000 after sales tax. The Kioti, for some reason, also gets a better loan. It gets about 5.99% interest. Okay, so looking at this calculation, the principal loan is $26,668 with the monthly interest rate at 84 months, okay, or 7 years, comes to about $389 a month. Now, if I can put some money down, let's say I was able to knock this down to $25,000. $25,000 would actually lower my monthly payments to $365 a month. Now, my wife and I do not have a mortgage. We do not have a car loan. We have no loans at all. We don't even have an electric bill because we live off grid. We don't have a water bill because we have a well. So my principal check that I have that I bring in from teaching literally is designated to savings or building projects. And the next building project that we're doing is a barn shop. But we need the proper equipment and tools to carry that out. And our bodies are just starting to wear out. So we'll talk a little bit more about why we're justifying the purchase of a tractor. But I just wanted to show you that with this spreadsheet, I was able to easily calculate my monthly payments. Once you know your monthly payment, you can then adjust and budget accordingly to pay that off. Now, my wife and I are looking at it as, yeah, it's an investment and it's going to be, for a while. But once we get up to about maybe $4,000, which would be 72 months, or even 74 months at this point of 6 years, we probably would just pay the whole entire loan off and stop making payments. I talked to the dealership about that, and they said there would be no problem with the loan company. They do not penalize you for paying this loan off early. So that's something that we'll probably consider doing as soon as we get the barn shop built and we have a little bit more savings being built up again. Alright, so this is the spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my wife's candle business website under a site that she calls Freebies, and you guys can look at that and even download it for free if you want.
And there's one other thing, though, that kind of bugged you a little bit.
Well, the other thing that bothered me was the fact that the tractors, all tractors now that are being made, and thanks to a subscriber by the name of Will who messaged me, helped me verify it, that they have computers in all the tractors. And so the tractors are run by computers, which makes it very, very difficult for a farmer to work on their own tractor. As far as that goes, like let's say, for example, a code flashes or a sensor goes out, that's on this computerized tractor, you have to go to the dealership and they have to use their programs and their computers to work on it, which they refuse to sell to the public.
And it's not because of the dealers, it's because of the manufacturers, right?
Manufacturers refuse to allow it to be public because they know that they're using the same engine in all their tractors and that you can use the computer to change the horsepower of your tractor. You can make your 35 horsepower tractor actually a 45 horsepower tractor if you have the right software. Well, maybe that's not a con, if I have the software.
Right?
Let's look at the pros.
So the pros are?
Well, pros, I mean, let's look at the fact that we're not getting any younger. We're actually getting older.
Right.
And our bodies are not able to handle what we used to do. And even then, we did things that we should not have done, like overlifting certain weights and lifting improperly. And so we are just lucky and blessed that we haven't slipped a disc or crushed a vertebrae or threw our backs out to the point where we could not live or work on a homestead.
Now you've thrown your back out though, where it's been pretty sore for a few days.
Oh yeah, I've been thrown out for probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On my back in total pain, and it was awful.
Yeah. And even just gathering firewood is a back-breaking task.
Right.
And it's not that we go out and deliberately do something stupid, but it's a. I mean, when we're getting firewood, it takes a long time. So anyway, the tractor would help with that as well. Mm-hmm. Being able to put it in the bucket, bring it to the woodshed, and we're not having to do all that lifting. We're just taking it out, cutting it, and then stacking it, which is really nice.
Right.
So so it helps with that.
Also, the fact that we're looking at the pro is going to help us build a barn shop.
Yeah.
And so by excavating or clearing the land, that's going to be huge for us. And so that's going to save us money. It's going to save us a lot of time. It's also going to help us do forest management, not just getting the firewood, but also going through the forest and taking out brush and branches that need to be moved to a burn pile or a slash pile, and taking care of effectively. Instead of having all this stuff on the forest floor that can be kindling for a forest fire. So if you're living off grid and you're in a forested area, that's something you really need to be concerned about, is doing fire maintenance on your property and limbing up the dead limbs off your trees, getting that stuff off the forest floor, and moving it to a safe location, either taking it to the recycle center or burning it. Right. So how did you enjoy driving the tractor?
I really enjoyed it. It was they were fun. It didn't take much effort. I was able to get a little bit of instruction, and I got on the tractor, and I was able to drive it, and it was cool. It'll take me a little bit to understand, actually using the bucket, but I was able to, do the levers and all of that and drive it, and so it was fun. Yeah, it was cool. What about you? What did you think?
Well, I drove both tractors like you did. Mm-hmm. I definitely felt more comfortable in one tractor over the other.
I did too.
And it was a little weird. And what was really kind of strange about it is that at 2 different times we told the salesperson, without the other person knowing, which tractor we liked better by the handling of it. And it was the same tractor.
I know. How weird is that?
We came to the same conclusion on the tractor that we liked based on driving the tractor.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all about price, but
Not
price.
necessarily, because they're pretty close, right?
Prices, you know, and power and lift.
Yeah.
I mean, all those things were in play. And for my wife, it was also color involved. But after weighing it all together, you really have to get on the tractors and determine what feels good to you and how you like the dash.
Yeah.
All the gauges, how the foot pedals work with your body,
Right.
steering wheel.
Yeah.
All those
Chair,
things.
where you sit, how you sit. I mean, yeah.
Where the cup holder is. I mean, these things
That's
are
important.
important. So
Yeah.
if you're
So it was fun.
if you're considering buying a tractor, don't buy a tractor based on what we choose.
Right.
You need to buy a tractor on what feels comfortable for you.
Right. And what works for your property and the size and all of that. But it is true. It's kind of like driving a car.
Right.
So,
We're going to take our tractor into the forest quite a bit, so that
Yeah.
four-wheel drive was crucial. That's why we didn't want to get a two-wheel drive tractor.
Right.
Especially with the mud that we have here, because
Yeah.
if our car gets stuck, all we got to do is hook the tractor up to it
Yeah.
and go. So there are some
Right.
things that you really need to consider if you're considering living out in the rural country and you need a tractor to help you out.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next video.